Who's it find out? Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if it's open.
Ah. You wanted the giggling couple?
No. I'm Mr. Mixer.
I went. You're after me. So it's your turn. Let me see
1,
quick.
2, 3.
Which
Go
one's
in here.
this? Pick a new one.
Gingerbread Man
That's
and the Candy Cane in a letter room.
Hi, girls. Hi. Hey, Brandy. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. Yeah. No, I love my custard cold. Really? It's like goop.
Go peek at those presents.
Hi, it's me, Alex. Stay-at-home reader. I'm sick. I've been sick. And at this point, I feel like I will never not be sick. You want to look at my album? Well, first, let's talk about reading, right? for the month of December. It's not going great. I already have 3, maybe 4 DNFs. One I got really far into. Actually, I started it last week in November. Legends and Lattes. And it was okay. And for a while I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cozy, right? It's making me want to like find some sort of like cafe simulator game. I don't really play those diner or farm or like kind of house building like games. What was the one that got really popular with the pin? Animal Crossing, right? My kids played that briefly because their friends played it. I've never gotten into that sort of gaming, but this book made me want to. It made me want to like have to like craft coffees or pastries and like level up and like evolve a menu. Like the book was really, really cute. And then I got really, really bored. It was an audiobook. It was a finely narrated audiobook. But I lost focus. As we know, mentally I'm struggling. So lost focus on that. I started Ninth House because that's one my husband and kids got for me for Christmas 2 years ago. And I thought, hey, Christmas is coming up. I know they're going to get me more books because they know I love books. So why don't I try to knock off some of the books they have bought me in the past? Immediately hated it. It's like a soft DNF for now, but I'm just because the book is so gorgeous and it's hardcover and I feel bad DNFing it and getting rid of it. But I'm in a mood right now where like just let shit go. So that one stinks. I started another audiobook. I can't even think of the title. The Sisters. Not liking that one either. It has Big Little Lies energy. No, The Husband's Secret. One of those Leanne Moriarty books. The one that has the Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon adaptation. I think it's Big Little Lies. It has that vibe to it. And I'm not very far, maybe 20% into the audiobook. And the like tagline on the cover, like one is lying, one is dying, the other one wants revenge, right? Referring to the 3 sisters. I think I know where it's going. And so part of me wants to continue reading just to see if I'm right, but I'm not having a good time with it, and so that seems like a waste. But basically, it opens with this guy at a Christmas party, and he's had a few drinks, and he's miserable, he's having a bad time, he wants to go home, and then he decides that he's being a Scrooge and he should go back to the party. But as he's returning to the party, he hits someone with this car. And you get the other side of the story is these 3 sisters who have been out, they're walking, they're a little tipsy, one stumbles, the sister catches her, and then like later on another sister stumbles and she's not caught, she's struck by this car. So it's not his fault, she fell into the road as he was passing, but he had a little bit to drink but not enough to put him at fault. And so one sister wants to blame him, hates that he's been exonerated. The sister who was struck is on life support, and the other sister is just kind of coping and saying, the doctors are saying we should take her off life support. The other sister's angry and fight. But it's not good. I don't like thrillers. I guess this is a psychological thriller, and it's not thrilling. And I have a guess of where it's going with the whole one is lying, one is dying. We know who's dying, and we know who wants revenge, which leaves the other sister, who's the one who caught the first sister while she stumbled, but then didn't catch the second sister who got hit by a car. So, like, what could she possibly be lying about? Did she push her sister? Did she push her sister? So I'm curious to be like, am I just being cynical and made that up, or is that what's going on? Does she have some other secret? I don't know. So that's another softy enough. I'm just not in a mental space to care about anything. So on top of the world climate, like all this conflict that's happening and war and genocide that's happening, being sick has really messed up my engagement level with what I'm reading. Like, I have no focus, I have no desire, I have no energy. Which brings me to another book that it's How Much of These Hills is Gold. I'm making progress. I've passed halfway, but it's very, 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 very slow progress. I've been reading this for a month now. And another one that I don't care. It's well written. I'm curious, but I don't care. The structure of the book has changed, and I think it kind of keeps changing in different sections. Like, the first is two siblings after the death of their father traveling through the west, through the desert, to find a proper place to bury him. And then it goes back in time to when the family is whole and functioning. Their father's around, their mother's around, they're not orphaned. Got through that part, and now we're getting the father's story from his youth. And so it keeps jumping, and the structure and the point of view and the narrative just keeps changing. But it's it's kind of sad story about an Asian family during the gold rush. But I don't care, unfortunately. Okay, last two books to talk about would be another one currently reading, because I just keep picking shit up and then not committing to it, or not being engaged or in love with it, and not having that pull back to want to read. Oh, okay. There's another ebook I started because I saw it for sale in the library bookstore. I was like, well, even for $1, I don't feel like owning this. But it's called Christmas is Canceled, and basically it's some, disgruntled housewives who are sick of their husbands taking them for granted. Like, everyone wants to enjoy the holidays, but who makes it happen is the wife, so the wives go on strike. Very poorly written, very, very poorly written. Have barely gotten through 20 pages of that. Probably because it's like an ebook I'm reading on my phone when I get in bed, and then I just get tired and fall asleep. So that's another one. Haven't fully committed to finishing. Anyway, but this one, Krampus Knots, I bought this at the library when I was like, I don't want that cheesy Christmas book. I want something darker. And then I found this, not on the Christmas table, but in the science fiction section of the used bookstore. So, it was definitely overlooked. It should have been on like the featured table of Christmas themed books for sale. Anyway, 12 Nights of Krampus. This is an anthology, bunch of short stories, came out in 2014 published by World Weaver Press. First story's okay. Second story, I loved it so much, and it reminded me of Brahms' book Slewfoot. Historical, magical. Yeah, so good. And so I want to look up World Weaver Press. Karen, they're from Michigan, so let me know if you've heard of them. um, because the author of that short story and I'm only like on the fourth story. The woman who wrote that second story had another book, like a novella, fantasy, romance, horror book about like the devil falling in love or something like that. And so I'm really curious to see what else they put out. But this is more my mood for this season. Some dark holiday stories. They're short. Um, Again, I wish I could get through a story in a sitting, but I cannot. All the distractions. But this is my most successful read of December so far. My book club, so I haven't started this one yet, but my book club selection for December is The Light Pirate. So we meet the last Wednesday of every month, which I think will bring me right after Christmas. So I have time for this one. I don't even know what it's about. I believe it's post-apocalyptic, so I'm gonna have to be very careful. Now, let me show you what I've worked on as far as my holiday scrapbooking. So first of all, I just went to Target and bought a binder. I did not buy a scrapbook album, which are better, obviously more suited to the purpose. So I've had to get creative and cut off the holes that the page protectors are made with. And then I have these like stick-on pieces that have a bunch of holes in them. I don't know if you can really see. It has like a bunch of holes, but you know, some of them line up. So I just cut off the holes that come on the protector, stick this thing on it, and then trim it down to the proper size. So I pasted these things in. This is a map from the farm where we get our tree. I just cut off the cover. This was the parking garage ticket from when Nate and I went away for his holiday party. So this will be my little ephemera memorabilia pocket and pasty. So started with the kicking off the holiday season the last week of November, book club one night, and then Kaba City Angel Baseball Academy team mom dinner the next. So at the end of November. And then December 1st was decorating the trees in the kids' room. Here's Owen putting up his, Oliver putting up his. This ornament he made out of like that Crayola foam dough. I don't even remember. I think there's a year on it. He was probably 3. So his handprint, so he put his big old hand next to it just to see how much he has grown. And then December 1st, I took a picture of him playing video games in his room. He strung lights all the way across. It just looked very festive. And I'm just very happy with how engaged in the holiday he's been this year. I really didn't expect him to be, since in recent years he's been much more checked out and not interested in decorating. In like, you know, the little traditions that we have, but he's really in the mood this year. December 2nd is the day we went to get our tree. Those are our tree farm photos, and then we always take a selfie in front of the tree we select. So here she is. And then Facebook memories showed me this. This was, I think, the first year we got a real tree. It was actually a different farm in town that we went to maybe 4 years until we found this farm where we go to now. But there's Oliver and Owen with our little red wagon pulling up the tree, and that's them this year pulling the tree in the wagon, or the, you know, little hand trucks that the farm has for us to borrow. Also, December 2nd was Nate and I went to Massachusetts for his holiday office party. So this is from that. My cold is also from that, I think, I assume, because literally the next day, the 3rd, is when I first felt a sore throat starting. Eileen is what I decided to name the tree because we had to correct her in the stand like multiple times and could not, I don't know. She still was kind of looking like she leans back. Maybe not. But we had to fix her. We had to fix her a few times, so I just went ahead and named her Eileen. Owen doesn't like it, but he didn't come up with anything better. I think he doesn't like it because then I made him listen to Come On Eileen, and my voice at the moment is not for singing. On the 4th, we did nothing because I feel like crap, and we just stayed home and tried to take pictures of the pets, but they didn't make it easy. That's it. That's as far as I've gotten. We are on today is the 14th, and I'm only up to the 4th in the scrapbook. But that's how it goes, I guess. So that's it for me for this week. Happy Vlogmas week 2. Once again, I feel the need to acknowledge that while we celebrate our holidays, a genocide is unfolding in Palestine. My thoughts are with the civilians, the men, women, and many, many, many children who are being targeted, and that my heart is with them this holiday. And I just want to make sure that everyone is continuing to keep that in their, keep that in the back of your mind, tuck that away, in our joy not to forget those who are suffering, and vote accordingly. Okay. Bye.